Ethiopia Current Affairs 2025. Question number 1. What ambitious environmental campaign did Ethiopia launch on July 31st, 2025? The correct answer is option D. National tree planting. 700 million seedlings in one day. Question number 2. What is the overall tree planting goal for Ethiopia's Green Legacy initiatives by 2026? 50 billion. 3. What concern did ecologists express about the tree planting campaign? Mixing exotic and native species, lacking technical oversight. 4. Which tragic event renewed attention to risk of irregular migration involving Ethiopians? Shipwreck off Yemen's coast. 5. Approximately how many Ethiopians died or went missing in the Yemen shipwreck? 68 dead and 74 missing. 6. What did human rights advocates call for in response to the migration tragedy? Legal migration channels and regional cooperation. 7. Which global figure visited Ethiopia on February 8, 2025? IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva. 8. What natural disaster struck Oromia in February 2025? Magnitude 6.0 earthquake. 9. What outbreak occurred in Gambela region in February and March 2025? Acute watery diarrhea, later cholera, killed 31 and infected 1500. 10. Which political milestone occurred on May 14, 2025 involving the TPLF? TPLF deregistered for failing to hold a General Assembly. Question number 11. How much did the Finance Ministry secure in investment deals in May 2025? $1.7 billion in minerals and energy, mainly which Chinese firms? 12. What notable achievement did Miss Ethiopia Hasid Diviji reach in May 2025? Miss World first runner-up. 13. What major announcement did PM Abiy Ahmed make on July 3, 2025? Completing of Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam (GERD). 14. What significant action did Ethiopian Security Service take mid-July 2025? Arrested 82 suspected IS members. 15. Which country approved imports of Ethiopian soy meal in July 2025? China. Who provided Ethiopia with a $1 billion development support package in July 2025? World Bank. 17. What are the goals of the World Bank's DPO to Ethiopia? Support inclusive growth, private sector, lead development, social protection. 18. As of August 11, 2025, how much is the AFDB committing for Ethiopia's new airport? $500 million. By when is the new Bishoftu airport expected to be completed? 2029. Question number 20. What is the projected annual passenger capacity of the new airport? 100 million. 21. Which institution is leading the $7.8 billion financing effort for the new airport? African Development Bank. 22. Which refugee's story highlights integration through art in Ethiopia? Faduma Abukar. 23. What progressive policy toward refugees does Ethiopia apply? Grant refugees national digital IDs and access to services. 24. What did Human Rights Watch warn about regarding proposed civil society law changes? Sweeping powers to restrict NGOs, including foreign-funded groups. 25. Why is the proposed law set to reverse earlier reforms? Grant broad government control similar to 2009 law. 26. What overarching human rights concerns were highlighted in the World Report 2025 for Ethiopia? Widespread abuses by armed actors, crackdown on journalists, civil society. 27. What law prohibits same-sex relationship in Ethiopia carrying a prison term? Penal code outlawing consensual same-sex activity up to 15 years. 28. What controversial Addis Ababa development project is slated for completing in 2025? Smart City Corridor project, roads, parks, bike lanes, housing. 29. What criticism faces the corridor project? Heritage demolitions and unclear economic benefits. 30. What did Ethiopia and Somalia sign in Ankara in December 2024? Ankara Declaration restored diplomatic ties. 31. What earlier agreement did Ethiopia sign with Somaliland in January 2024? MOU granting 19 km of coastline access and future Somaliland recognition. 32. What adverse consequences resulted from the Somaliland MOU? Opposition from Somalia, Eritrea, Egypt, Somali recall of ambassador. 33. What does ACLED data report about violence in Oromia and Tigray May to June 2025? 41 events, 165 fatalities, or LA attacks on civilians with abduction. 34. Which armed group killed civilians and abducted people in RC zone? OLF Sheni. 35. What happened in early 2024 related to regional autonomy in southern Ethiopia? Referendum to form South Ethiopia region approved. 36. What resulted from the new southern referendum? South Ethiopia region created. SNNP renamed Central Ethiopia region. 37. Which high-profile politician passed away in January 2025? Bulcha Dimek Saab, MP, died at 94. 38. What major health challenge did Medicines Sans Frontiere warn about in early 2025? Cholera with refugee influx overwhelming regions. 39. What inauguration is expected in the near future related to GERD? Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam GERD inauguration ahead of operation. 40. What election related restriction was included in the proposed civil society law? Buried foreign funded NGOs from political advocacy, elections monitoring. 41. How were the seats of the Civil Society Authority Board proposed to change? Government appoint 5 to 7, only 2 civil society. 42. Which group continues to face violent clashes causing death and state of emergency in Amhara? Fano militaries and government forces amid ongoing conflicts. 43. How have international partners responded to the human rights environment in Ethiopia? Continued normalization despite abuses. 44. What infrastructure benefit does the new airport aim to deliver for Ethiopia? Pan-African hub, regional integration, massive capacity growth. 45. What is the estimated total funding needed for the new Bishop to airport? $10 billion. 46. What design firm was awarded the new airport's contract? Sidara, Dubai based. 47. What challenge does the Smart City Corridor project pose to heritage areas in Addis? Demolition of historic districts like Pesa. 48. What key global initiative supports refugee inclusion in Ethiopia? UNHCR's solutions from the start, promoting integration. 49. Which urgent issue does Amnesty International call to stop regarding forced evictions? Forced evictions tied to corridor development. 50. What is a major economic reform focus supported by the World Bank's DPO? Private sector growth, revenue mobilization, trade and investment. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe and let me know if you like question sets focus on specific themes like infrastructure, humanitarian issues or political reforms. Thank you.